The sun burned down on Arlington Cemetery, its rays bouncing off the rows of white marble stones that stood like silent soldiers. Among them marched Sergeant Daniel Cole, a tomb guard of the unknown soldier. His posture was flawless, his face unreadable, his movements precise down to the millisecond. Every click of his heel echoed the weight of sacrifice, the sound of honor. For Daniel, this sacred duty wasn't just about the unknown, it was about his own fallen brothers, his late wife, and the life he was struggling to rebuild for his 10-year-old son, Luke. Daniel had served 3 tours overseas, lost his wife in a car crash during his last deployment, and now was raising Luke alone while guarding the tomb that symbolized every soldier who never made it home. Luke was a good kid, quiet, thoughtful, and proud of his dad, but lately, he had been struggling at school. Kids teased him for wearing old clothes, for not having the newest phone, for living in a small rented house. Still, Daniel taught him dignity. Son, respect isn't bought, it's earned. One summer afternoon, Daniel brought Luke to the cemetery after his shift. They sat under a tree, eating sandwiches, watching the solemn ceremony of the guard change. That's when a sleek black SUV pulled up nearby. Out stepped a boy around Luke's age, dressed in expensive sneakers and a designer shirt, his mother scrolling through her phone without glancing at the tomb. The boy, Carter, looked around and scoffed, "This is it. A bunch of rocks and some guy walking back and forth like a robot." Luke's head snapped up. "Hey," he said sharply, "show some respect. That's the tomb of the unknown soldier." Carter laughed, "Respect? For someone nobody even knows. Please. My dad says soldiers get paid to play hero." Daniel, who had been standing nearby, turned slowly. His eyes, cold and steady as steel, locked on the boy. "Son," he said in a calm, even voice, "you might want to think about what you just said." Carter shrugged, rolling his eyes. "Whatever. It's not like you'd get it. You're just a guard." Daniel stepped closer, his presence commanding but not threatening. "I am a guard," he said quietly. "And I am a father. And I've buried men who gave everything so you could stand here and mock them." Carter hesitated, but his pride flared. "My dad says soldiers just do it for the benefits." Luke jumped up, his small fists clenched. "My dad doesn't do this for money. He does it because it matters." The argument drew the attention of nearby visitors, and Carter's mother finally looked up. "Carter, get in the car," she said dismissively, but Daniel stopped her gently with a hand. "Ma'am, maybe your son would like to learn what this place really means." She sighed, clearly annoyed, but Daniel continued. 5 minutes. That's all." Reluctantly, she nodded. Daniel led Carter and Luke to the edge of the ceremonial plaza. "Do you know what this is?" he asked. "It's not just a tomb. It's a promise. It says we will never forget the soldiers who never came home. Not one. Not ever." He pointed to the inscription on the marble, "Here rests in honored glory an American soldier known but to God." "Every second I walk that path," Daniel said, "I think about the faces of the men I served with. Some didn't make it back. Some did, but they left pieces of themselves behind. This tomb honors all of them. It honors sacrifice that money can't buy." Carter shifted uncomfortably. You lost people here." Daniel nodded. "I lost brothers. And I lost my wife while I was deployed. I wasn't there for her. So when I march here, I march for her too. For every promise I couldn't keep." For the first time, Carter's eyes softened. He glanced at Luke, who was staring at his dad with tears in his eyes. I didn't know," Carter whispered. "I just thought it was some soldier thing." Daniel knelt down so he was eye level with the boy. "It's okay not to know," he said gently. "But when you don't know, listen. Ask. Respect. Because you never know what someone else has carried to get where they are." Carter swallowed hard and nodded. Then, without being told, he straightened up and saluted awkwardly toward the tomb. Luke smiled a little through his tears, and Daniel felt something lift inside him, a small, quiet victory. Carter's mother, watching from a distance, lowered her phone. Her face softened as she whispered, "Thank you, Sergeant." Daniel nodded, standing tall once more. "Just doing my duty, ma'am." Later that day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Daniel and Luke walked back to their old truck. Luke looked up and said softly, "Dad, I think Mom would be proud of you." Daniel smiled faintly. "I hope so, buddy." He placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "You see, Luke, sometimes people don't understand respect until they see what it costs. As they drove away, the fading light cast long shadows across the rows of headstones, each one a story of courage, of sacrifice, of love. And somewhere deep in Daniel's heart, the weight of the world felt just a little lighter, knowing that maybe, just maybe, he'd passed on a lesson that would ripple far beyond that one sacred place. In the days that followed, a video of the encounter surfaced online, taken by a visitor who'd watched the exchange in silence. It went viral, entitled Kid Offends Tomb Guard, Watch What Happens Next. But Daniel never watched it. For him, the only thing that mattered was the look in Carter's eyes that day, the moment respect was born from ignorance, and understanding replaced arrogance. And in a world that often forgets its heroes, that small change was enough to make every step Daniel took worth it.